friends. This is the final countdown. Gonna wait a couple minutes. Excuse me. Whew. Have another one coming. Oh, maybe not. Just kidding. You are. Just going through Twitter, you didn't miss much. Me just sitting here sneezing and going through Twitter before I put it down. Oh, yeah. Get rid of that notification. Okay. So we gotta do new game. Yes. Finishing with Caspian, who, just by a glance, is my least favorite character. So we'll see if that changes. It usually does. It's quite strange. It usually always changes. Because when I played Code Realize, I was not a fan of Impy at all. But now I'm like, all about my boy Impy. No, I sneezed, so now I'm a little like, everything came out. So now like my nose is a little runny and it'll go away. I don't think I've been sick in a long time. I have never even called in sick to work at the job that I have now. I've been there for almost 2.5 years. I went home early once because I felt like I was going to pass out. But I think it was sleep deprivation than anything else. I think I stayed up too late the night before. And I went home and I slept for like 16 hours. It was great. My team lead was like, I think you need to go home. You look a little tired. I was like, oh, thanks. Yeah. I guess you could say I'm like the studious kind. Like, I don't like being late for work. I'm always early. I stay late sometimes. Not like super late, like 15-20 minutes. So it's nothing like. Okay, who's route? Okay, Caspian. I was like, wait a second. Whose route am I on? I look for Caspian in the far corner of the room. He seems distinctively annoyed. Yeah, as if he were willing himself not to roll his eyes. I would roll my eyes. I always roll my eyes. I guess it's nothing new for him. I can't think of the last time I saw him smiling. It must be tiresome walking around all day feeling better than everyone around you. Yeah. Suddenly, as if sensing my less than charitable thoughts about him, Caspian gaze upon me. Shit, I look away, but it's too late. I don't need his opinion of me going any lower. Let's just pick one. It's kind of like the neutral default one. I do love Zen. He was my first route. Ugh. He's... I wish I was still, like, into playing the games. I know a lot of people, like, will replay the routes and everything, and, like, they've upped the CGs. There's more CGs. There's... I haven't done, like, the newer, I guess, DLCs. Like, I haven't done Rays. I haven't done Vs. I did 707s, and I did all the after story stuff, but... I think I did do song next to... Or was it... I never did Jaehee's route. So I think it was Zen, Yusong, and then I jumped to 707 because I was so antsy, and then I regretted it because I tried to go back and do Juman's route, and I, like, wasn't into it at all because, like, I love 707. Like, 707. I've cosplayed at 707 a few times. I even got a jersey made for me and my friend because his favorite character was 707 as well. So we have matching jerseys that are, like, black with a little bit like that orange color that's on his hoodie, and then on the back it says error 707. I love him. I want to make an eat a bag. I have some stuff of him, so I can probably make like a small eat a bag, but I need to get some more buttons of him to kind of fill it up. I actually just got stuff yesterday for my eat a bag, for a different eat a bag. And there's another thing in the mail for the other character because it's two characters. Okay, I'm getting off track. Okay, that's another story. So if I shut him down, that's Ignatius. If I ignore him, I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was Caspian for that one. Okay, so I saw him for a blip moment. Yeah, a lot of people said that because it's like, hello, I'm here. Why are you talking about Rika? I think that was everyone's qualm. It's like his route really didn't kick in until like well into his route. Where's Caspian? There he is. As I walk down the hall towards Caspian's door, I can't help but feel nervous. Maybe I should have asked Lux instead. He's going to give me that judgy face he always does, but I would really feel safer having him around. Well, here we are. I knock on his door. The door swings open, and just as expected, Caspian looks down at me with his usual cold, judging glare.
Yes?
Hi, Caspian. I was wondering if you could help me with something.
Don't waste my time making me ask you questions. Get on with it.
Oh, well, There was this creepy guy hanging around earlier. I feel like I would feel, safer if you walked with me to the bathhouse.
Why me?
It's rude.
Why are you asking me instead of your friend Lux?
You're right. I guess coming here was a mistake. Sorry to have wasted your time.
I turn to leave, embarrassed, but I feel a strong hand on my shoulder and suddenly find myself facing Caspian again.
That was not a refusal. It was a simple question.
Then why are you wasting my time with questions, Caspian? He just don't want me to...
Oh.
I'm be judgy too.
Lux is big, but he's a complete softie. Everyone is afraid of you.
Sorry. That came out really... Caspian seems to register some surprise before returning to his usual unfriendly expression.
I see. Well then, let's be off. I don't have all evening to spend wasting time with you.
Right. Thanks, Caspian. ...
He's so rude. I never liked the rude characters.
Have you given any thought to choosing a suitor sooner rather than later? Even just for show, you'd probably be safer if these potential suitors had someone to direct their attention to.
I'm not really ready for a relationship right now. Wait, you mean like choose a fake boyfriend so everyone would just be mad at him instead of trying to proposition me all the time? Wouldn't that be dangerous for my fake boyfriend?
True, because if she changes her mind or actually starts to like
Perhaps
somebody.
It is something to consider when making your choice. You must be certain you've chosen the right man. Someone who can protect himself as well as you.
I feel like I can't flirt. This is gonna be boring.
I
Have to be
can't
serious.
and won't foist this burden off onto
Foist.
some guy. I don't need someone to protect me, and when I begin a relationship, I want it to be real. And serious. I could never have a sham relationship.
Commendable.
He will lapse into a neutral silence for a few minutes.
They're taking us to see the human boy tomorrow.
Huh? What human boy? Who's they?
Humans and elementals have been at odds for generations. We've had a peace agreement with the nearby village for the last few decades, but things have been really tense between us lately.
A human boy was captured near our village. Elder Sol will take us to see him tomorrow. Really, you should pay more attention to what's going on in the village. Information like this could be the difference between life and death.
Ugh.
You're right, Caspian. I was a bit distracted by everything going on today, but I'll have to do better going forward.
Things will only get more difficult from this point onward. This is your life now.
Lucky me.
Right. Caspian and I walk back to the dormitory without any more creepy incidents. Maybe it was just that guy, or maybe seeing me with Caspian makes them feel like they don't have a chance. Either way, I'm going to have to be more aware of my surroundings from now on. The men in the village are looking at me differently now, and it seems they don't all have good intentions. He does. Well, yeah, he does. They could be. They very well could be. It would. So now I'm going to get assaulted with bread. All the choices that favor Caspian are like the opposite of what I would choose. Oops, that's right. I was supposed to throw it in his face. That's okay. Feel ashamed. I don't want to feel ashamed for liking free food. I wrap the sweet rolls back up and put them off to the side. I've suddenly lost my appetite.
I wasn't really thinking about it. They just smelled really good. I'll be more careful of what gifts I accept in the future.
Ugh! Caspian's stern features soften, and he gives me a regal, almost I should have done this and then Rocco, so I could go through the torture and then have I know, I could be swayed. Caspian calling the ambulance. He's too uppity for me. Like, have a little fun. God, you're only 20. Why are you acting like you're 40? Even my dad, he's retired now. He has more fun than this. He'd joke around and be sarcastic all the time. Just then, Elder Soul enters the classroom. He doesn't even bother coming to the front of the class. He simply beckons us to him from the door.
I've got a special class session for you today. One of the most important lessons you'll ever learn. We'll be doing something...
I wonder if one elemental is stronger than the other, kind of like genes, where like if someone who has blonde hair has a baby with someone with brown hair, it's more likely that they're going to have brown hair than blonde hair, because the brown hair gene is stronger of a gene. Caspian, walk with me. I jog a bit to catch up to Caspian. He seems to be deep in thought and doesn't acknowledge me at first.
Hey, Caspian. ... Hello?
You are disturbing my thoughts. Did you need something?
He's... Goddess, he's infuriating. I wonder if anyone would like him at all if he wasn't so damn good looking. I don't even think he's that good looking out of all of them, but that's just my opinion. To each their own.
I just wanted to know what you thought about us going to see this human boy.
Not much of a beard person. Cassim looks thoroughly annoyed by my question.
What do I think? I think it is important to know one's enemies. I think it is fortunate that a boy this incompetent delivered himself to our doorstep. And I think his presence constitutes an act of aggression that is tantamount to war.
He thinks a lot.
You really think one boy is enough to cause a war?
Do you think a boy incompetent enough to get captured would have made it this far alone? He was simply the weakest of his companions. Do not make the same mistake as the rest of our classmates. You are brighter than that.
He sounds like a dad. Like just a really uppity dad to her right now.
The same mistake? You mean don't underestimate the significance of this incident?
Precisely.
Why can't you just, spell it out? Did I hear that correct? You are brighter than that. Was that a compliment? Better not press my luck.
Thanks for the warning, Caspian. I'll leave you alone with your thoughts now.
He nods to me and walks off at his own pace. I wonder what he's thinking about. Same here. Do nothing. I wonder if the same play dirty gets me the stage CG with him as all the other ones. I feel that I'd want to just because he's kind of a pain in the butt right now. Caspian says nothing as I approach him. He merely gives me a formal bow before lowering into a fighting stance. I return his bow, then take a running start at him. I pull my fist back to punch him, but somehow he's already behind me. Oh goddess, why did I choose him? I didn't even see that. I might need a new strategy. Maybe I can get into his head somehow. He acts like he's above everything. But he's still a man, isn't he? I'll have to get him in close. Well, that's true. He is still male. I rush him again and make as if to punch him, but I reach my arm out and get it around his waist as he's passing me. He tries to throw me to the ground, but I manage to pull him down with me. Time seems to slow at a standstill as we fall. I get behind him and prepare for a chokehold, but he seems to sense what I'm doing and slams both of us to the ground with me directly beneath him. Despite having the wind knock out of me, I'm still able to lock my arms around his neck. With water balls. With his water balloons. Caspian chokes out a raspy laugh.
You would choke a water elemental. I can hold my breath for hours.
Oh, fancy.
Well, I can do this all day. So I guess we'll see who breaks first.
That's a good one. Time to try something different. Caspian isn't like some of the others. Being this close together doesn't do much to him. I'll have to do something really crazy. She's just gonna like lick his ear. It looks like that's what she's gonna do right now. She's gonna be like, hello, licky, licky, licky. I gather my courage and plant a quick kiss on Caspian's temple. He stops struggling immediately. I can feel his entire body tense on top of me. Well, here you go. I think I would have gone with the licking. I feel like that would be more of a shock. Success. And now to a sudden agonizing pain in the calf and knee while I am congratulating myself on seamlessly impacting Caspian. He had driven his elbow into my calf. How? Does he have long arms? How does... I feel like it would be more of your gut than your calf. I'm confused. I guess if her legs are wrapped around, I don't know. Making me feel as if my knee was about to pop right off. I loosen my grip on Caspian for a moment, and he slips his arms up between his neck and my hands to fight this over, and the fight is over in an instant. The next thing I know, Caspian is standing with one foot planted on my chest, pinning me to the ground.
Stay down. The next time you try to use a dirty trick, at least make certain you won't leave yourself open to easy counters.
Across the room, Rocco parries a blow from Ignatius and knocks him to the ground.
You're wasting dirty tricks on that stick in the mud. Darling, you're killing me.
Oh, Rocco.
I don't know what either of you are talking about. It was a simple rear choke. Come on, Caspian, let me up. Let's reset.
Caspian removes his foot from his chest and takes a few steps back. I stand up and brush myself off, glancing at him through my peripheral vision. It's almost impossible to tell, but I could swear I see a tiniest hint of blush on Caspian's stern face, but perhaps I'm only seeing what I want to see. They're so predictable, the male species. The fact that it's funny, the fact that you can do the same trick to all of them and you get the same result. It's been a long day. She's gonna look at advertisements. Flashback with Papa. It doesn't really matter. And she's thinking about Caspian. Caspian, as I drift off to sleep, he's the last thing on my mind. Why? water. I am tossed about on a stormy sea. I try to swim, but the current is much too strong. I try to control the water around me, but I'm being buffeted far too violently to make use of any water magic. Suddenly, the water calms, and a pair of strong arms pull me out of the water and hold me close. Caspian! He's not wearing his usual attire. I'm pressed tightly against his bare chest. Ooh!
You shouldn't be out in the water on a day like this.
Oh, here we go.
I didn't know a storm was coming.
Next time, take me with you. I know all the best places for a swim.
Of course you do.
Well, you're here now, right? Why don't you show me?
Yes, I'll show you.
Oh, this game is amazing. He leans down to kiss me. Our noses touch, and I can feel his beard tickle my face. I close my eyes, and I wake up. Oh, Aurora, you such a dirty, dirty mind. Did you like how dramatic? I awaken with a start. No water, no Caspian. Oh, goddess. What was that about? I mean, it's not like it was unpleasant, but Caspian looks at me like I'm dirt beneath his feet. The idea of him and I together would probably repulse him to his very core. What a nightmare. All the same, though, I would have liked that kiss. Well, at any rate, I guess I better get up and get going. You get it, girl. I don't think this really matters. Just as a small crowd of villagers arrive, I look across the square and spot Caspian on his way to class. He's totally gonna ignore her. I know that's what's gonna happen. I give him a desperate wave. He gives me a strong look, but when he notices a small crowd approaching me, he begins to make his way over to us. I am shocked! He actually shows care. Or until he says something rude. Just as the villagers begin to thrust their baked goods towards me, I hold my hand out and to stop them.
Sirs, you honor me with your gifts, but I see my classmate across the square and I promised him we would walk together. I really must be going now. Please feel free to deliver any samples to my quarters. Thanks.
The villagers pause for a moment, surprised by my outburst. Just in the nick of time, Caspian arrived. He does not even bother addressing the group. He simply grabs me by the shoulders and steers me out of the crowd. ...
Caspian?
Caspian continues marching forward, even though we've long since left the villagers behind. He doesn't seem to hear me.
Caspian, you can let go now. They're gone.
Caspian suddenly seems to notice he's marching me to the classroom. He lets go of me immediately.
My apologies. I was focused.
Wow, is Caspian embarrassed? I've never seen him be anything other than angry or ultra confident.
That's all right. Thanks for the rescue, Caspian.
It will only get worse from here. You showed them weakness. Every artisan in this village and the next will be clamoring to push their wares on you.
Weakness? Was I supposed to fight them or something?
In my home village, our artisans are similarly aggressive. You must show them no mercy, and you must make an example out of those who continue to harass you.
Okay. Teach me, senpai.
Make an example out of them? How?
First, you must send an underling to his house in the dead of night.
What?
And then, once you have broken his spirit, you make him apologize in front of the entire village for the disrespect he has visited upon you and your entire family.
That sounds really effective, Caspian, but I don't think the elders would allow that.
Perhaps not. I forget sometimes Akash is much more lax than my own village.
It must be nice not having to be on your guard all the time, though, right? Having to be so harsh on everyone must be exhausting.
Is his family like mafia or something?
Leadership requires a great deal of responsibility. It is a burden I carry gladly. But I must admit, life in Akash is easier.
Okay. Caspian seems to be looking past me. I turn around, follow his gaze, and see some of our villager warriors headed in the other direction. They're heavily armed, which is unusual to see in the middle of the village.
Where do you think they're headed with all those weapons?
They must be checking in on the prisoner.
I wonder what they're going to do to him. I hope they don't hurt him.
Do not tell me you are concerned for this human boy.
Why shouldn't I be? All life is precious.
You tell him.
Tell that to the rest of his kind. They would slaughter you without a second thought.
Maybe some of them, but not all of them. There's good and bad humans, just like there's good and bad elementals.
Unless you have devised a way to tell the good from the bad on sight, I suggest you save your concern for those that deserve it.
We finish our walk to class in an awkward silence. I definitely represented the student. Well, even student dairy isn't quite like that. They're like mean and then blush, and they're like, you know. I don't know. Caspian. Rocco crosses his arms and huffs.
Come now, darling, your own kind. Hasn't your family taught you enough about water magic?
You're just mad she didn't choose you, Rocco.
You tell him, Rowan.
I admit I'm a bit hurt, but I know our love can survive this betrayal.
Enough joking around. Class is still in session.
Jeez.
The poor girl doesn't need any more pressure from the lot of you.
Truth. He places a large hand on my shoulder and gives me an awkward pat. I think he means to reassure me. It's rather sweet.
The real choice is in less than 2 weeks. Try to keep an open mind as long as you can.
Thank you, Elder. I will.
Caspian doesn't even respond to Rocco. He simply walks to the corner of the yard and looks at me expectantly. I follow him.
It doesn't surprise me that you would consider water magic. Your family lineage is known across the land. But if we are to work together, I need to know what you are looking to accomplish in this session.
I just wanted to get to know you more.
Why?
Why are you asking me questions?
We've been classmates since we were little kids, but I don't know a thing about you. We're about to graduate and go our separate ways soon.
That has always been intentional. I have told you everything you needed to know about me. No more, no less.
Are you serious? Do you really think everyone is coming to you with their hand out asking for something? I didn't ask you how powerful your family is or what kind of resources your village controls. I just wanted to know what kind of person my classmate is.
In 2 weeks' time, you can return to your home village and forget you ever knew me.
Rude.
You should thank me for making the process easier on you. Now then, are you finished?
Are you?
Excuse me?
Are you finished patting yourself on the back for being so inaccessible and mysterious?
You put him in his place. Get it.
We can begin our lesson whenever you are ready. Water magic is similar to fire magic in that it is easy to learn, but difficult to master. Any young elemental female can be taught to summon water, but true mastery comes only with years of dedicated training.
Right.
Let us begin with the obvious.
It's kind of cool looking, his little water around him. Caspian holds his hand out and summons a ring made of water. It floats in the air and some distance away from both of us.
No doubt you played this game with your father as a child. Aim for the ring.
I point at the ring and expertly shoot a small jet of water from my index finger. It sails easily through the air without disturbing Caspian's ring.
Adequate. Let's try another.
Caspian moves the ring further back and narrows it considerably. I point my finger at the ring and send a jet straight through the center without even trying.
Sorry, I thought you meant to make this one more challenging.
Let us move on to something more age-appropriate. Let the record reflect that you have an excellent grasp on this children's game.
You chose to have us play it, Caspian.
Let us try something more difficult, then.
Caspian blasts me with a jet of water. I only just managed to move out of the way in time.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't dodge. Show me your defensive capabilities.
All right, but at least give me some warning next time.
Before I can even finish my sentence, Caspian sends another blast of water my way. I instinctively put my hands in front of me and summon a wall of water to shield me. Caspian jet splashes harmlessly to the floor.
Better.
Caspian's arms are a blur, sending out a flurry of blasts. High, low, and everywhere in between. I block them all and direct my own at Caspian's face. He blocks it easily but gives me a half smile.
Very good. Your family should be proud.
Thanks, Caspian.
Reluctantly.
Maybe we could train together again sometime.
It seems unlikely, as I am incredibly busy.
Oh.
But if it should come to pass that we are in the training yard at the same time, I would consider it.
What is this guy's issue? No matter how pompous and self-righteous he is, I always find myself wanting to be closer to him. One half smile and suddenly I forget everything that came before. I get a grip on myself, or he's not that handsome. Oh goddess, who am I kidding? Yes, he is. I'm hopeless.
Look alive.
He looks like an old man. A jet of water knocks me off my seat, interrupting my thoughts.
I rescind my praise. You clearly have much to learn yet.
Rude.
Ugh! I'm going to blast the beard right off your face, you inconsiderate, ill-tempered!
Oh!
Let your magic do the talking.
I would, like, submerge him in fire. I don't know if fire would evaporate the water or water would extinguish fire. I don't know. Could do either or. It's been a long day. The villagers clamoring for my attention only got worse on my way back. I might need to start taking another route home. Despite everything I've been through in the last few days, as I lay down to sleep, I find my thoughts constantly returning to that human boy. I'll never forget the way he looked at me. He was a lot cuter than I had ever imagined a human would be. It feels a bit strange to think that, but I can't help it. I yawn and snuggle up against my pillow. I wonder what he thinks about all day tied up in that room. Is he scared? Angry? Does he hate all of us? I wish I could talk to him just for a little bit. I'm so curious. But I really ought to turn in early and get some sleep. On the other hand, this might be the perfect opportunity to go see him. Meh. Oh, I read that already. Get some rest, Aurora. You don't need to go down that path again. Yeah. No comment on Daniel. Which one is his way? If I cut through, don't I run into Rocco? I always want to say Roscoe. I don't know why. Rocco and Rowan. Taking the long way. I know I run into Ignatius and Lux. Let's go around and see what happens.
Stand your ground.
Caspian? Where did you come from?
I was on my way to class just as you were.
I don't usually see you in the mornings here, Caspian.
I prefer to walk alone.
Shocker.
No offense, but I'm not waiting to see how this plays out. I'm going now.
No need for everyone to be late, I suppose.
Okay, but what are we doing about those guys over there?
I told you, stand your ground. If you don't put a stop to this foolishness now, then you'll never get a moment's peace.
I mean, he's not wrong.
But I already told them yesterday, and there's more of them today.
I will show you.
The crowd is not so much a group of merchants as it is a sentinel or sentient mass of wares. Caspian doesn't seem the least bit rattled as they approach him. They all shout at once. Caspian nods to me.
Go on.
All of you, shut up for a minute!
The crowd fell silent.
I came this way specifically to avoid all of you, because your aggressive tactics have been interfering with my studies. This has to stop! I would have been happy to peruse your wares after school hours, but at this point you've removed yourselves from consideration with this embarrassing display.
Yup. Dot. Merchants and I face each other in silence. No one knows what to do from here. I feel a firm hand on my shoulder. Caspian steps forward, his arms outstretched.
Well said. However, it seems as if they will only understand one thing.
Caspian, no!
You know what he looks like? If you've ever watched Star Trek The Next Generation, I don't remember his name, but I know the captain calls him number one. Not, number two. The second, or vice captain. That's not what it's called. I can't remember the word right now. Jeez. I yank at his arm, causing a massive jet of water he just summoned to rocket towards the merchant's feet. The crowd disperses immediately. The merchants flee in every direction, clenching their wares protectively.
Why did you stop me? Now they have learned nothing.
I think the threat was more than enough, Caspian.
How naive.
I don't think we really have time for you to go over the finer points of crowd control techniques. We're officially late for class now.
He probably would. He probably would all have sent them flying. Caspian turns without another word and dashes off down the path.
Hey, wait for us!
He only cares about himself at this point.
The Treaty of Desquernacabras was signed in which year? Ignatius?
Last year?
Elder Brosco magnificently seems to have his head buried in a scroll. Lux and I slide through the doorway as quietly as possible. Caspian has somehow already made it to a seat without incident. He's really fast.
Not quite. Rowan?
1294?
Not even close. Perhaps our two latecomers can help you out.
I freeze midway through taking my seat. He wasn't even looking. I give Lux a desperate look. He doesn't even blink.
EL 1397.
Excellent. The signatories of that treaty?
The signatories.
Elder Borosco is still occupied with his scroll, so I look over at Lux. Lux mouths something to me, but I can't make it out.
It was between...
Lux points at Rocco and then at Rowan.
Wind elementals and earth elementals.
Elder Borosco rolls up his scroll with a look of supreme irritation.
Very good, young miss, but someday Lux won't be around to feed you answers. Why are you so late this morning?
There are so many merchants and vendors in the village every morning, accosting me and asking me to sample their wares or come by their shop. It's starting to become overwhelming.
So class must start 15 minutes late because you do not know how to manage your time?
It could not be helped, Elder. I observed for myself.
I did not ask for your input, Caspian. Your classmate needs to learn that these occurrences are part and parcel of being a female in a village of males. You will be treated differently than your peers from here on out. I suggest you get used to it. Now then, if there are no more interruptions, we shall resume our lesson.
I look over at Caspian, but he's already looking at his notes. As mad as I am, I still feel happy that Caspian stood up for me. I never would have imagined that scenario a week ago. This is really funny. I really want to know what dream Caspian is. Caspian. I glance over at him in the far corner of the room. He has his usual cold look. I wonder what he's thinking about. Probably the lecture, I guess. Caspian is the best student in our class after Lux. I guess the answer to that question was pretty obvious. From this angle, I have a great view of his hair. Someday, somehow, I'm gonna grab that bun. Maybe I'll just squeeze it and then flee in the other direction as fast as I can. He's really fast, though. He'll probably pull my arms off before I could even finish. Pull that bun. Elder Borosco's voice is monotonous. I close my eyes for just a moment. Caspian drums his fingers on the desk in front of him impatiently. Finally, he shoves his chair back and stands up.
Class is still in session. Sit down.
Caspian says nothing in reply and simply reaches back and removes the ribbon. Fuck. Tying his hair, he shakes his head and waves of gorgeous indigo locks come cascading down his shoulders. It's an incredible sight.
Are you listening to me? Sit down!
Is this a commercial for hair products now? Oh my god. There's this cosplayer, Leon Chiro. He did this little video when he was cosplaying Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, and he's like flinging his hair in slow motion, and all of a sudden like the words L'Oreal pop up. Oh my god, it was great. Again, no response. Caspian tosses his hair over his shoulder and gives me a look that can only be described as the sort of reserved solely for the most intimate moments of one's life. Elder Borosco is beside himself with rage.
Enough!
Caspian jumps onto his desk and strikes a provocative pose. He looks so good, I'm beginning to sweat.
Hey now, this is my kind of class.
I love this moment. This is, oh my god. Caspian whips his hair to side and beckons to me. It's official. I'm definitely sweating. In fact, my face feels positively soaked. It's kind of sad he doesn't say anything and he's just whipping his hair back and forth like he's an Ariana Grande music video or something. My eyes fly open and I wake up with a start. I really was drooling. How embarrassing. Miraculously, Elder Bro doesn't seem to have noticed. Once he gets going, he really gets into his lectures. I scrawl some notes to keep myself awake.
That was insane this morning, wasn't it? I never expected Caspian to show such an interest in helping you, too. He usually keeps to himself, doesn't he?
Yes, I was so surprised, but it was such a nice change of pace.
It seems like you two have been spending a bit more time together lately.
Here comes jealous boy.
Yeah. I don't know why sometimes, though. It seems like he really doesn't think much of me. But he tolerates my presence more than he used to. Maybe it's just the hormones talking, but despite it all, I want to make him proud of me. I want to see what his smile looks like. I just want to be near him.
Why?
I worry about you getting too close to him.
Me too, Lux. Me too.
Why's that?
He's so cold. He's made it clear all he cares about is fulfilling his duty. Do you know how he feels about marriage? Children? Is he even emotionally capable of loving someone else?
Probably not.
I don't have a single clue, but it doesn't even matter anyway. He's never shown even the slightest bit of interest in me.
Lux put his massive hand on my shoulder.
Whether it's Caspian or not, whoever you end up with will be a very lucky man. Just be careful in the interim. Take care around your crowd of admirers as well. We hope most of them will be honorable, but the power you represent can drive some elementals to do terrible things.
I can feel my eyes getting heavy. I'll tackle the dress first thing tomorrow, but for now I can't really think about this anymore. Here we go. More water. The necklace dims enough to reveal the face of the elemental wearing it.
Caspian!
I had to see you. There is something I must ask you.
He runs to me and takes my hand in his. He presses his forehead against mine, the traditional stance of an elemental man about to propose marriage.
Will you marry me?
Such a stiff, will you marry me? Oh, goddess, what do I do? I don't know if I want this. Oh, that's different. Usually she's like, yes, yes, yes. And this one, she's like, ... She wasn't into it at all. That's different. It was very different. Oh, this is the minigame.
Disgusting.
I turn around to see Caspian standing behind me.
Who, them?
Who else? We must put a stop to this.
Let's do this!
Here we go. Caspian stands before the crowd with his arms outstretched.
You have until the count of 3 to escape with your possessions intact. 1, 2...
Oh, no minigame? Maybe I clicked the wrong option? The crowd scatters in every direction and merchants are tripping over themselves to get out of Caspian's way. They must know he really means business.
Wow, that certainly did the trick.
Of course it did. There is only one way to deal with these kinds of threats.
Stone cold.
True story. So, I guess I need to go the other way? Hold on.
Who else? We must put...
Oh, that's right. Hold on. Maybe I'll go around. he doesn't have a minigame? Is this true? Why? Why would he be the only one who does? Well, I mean, I guess technically Daniel doesn't have one either, but that's different. Am I missing something? Hold on. I'm bothered by this.
Who else? We must put a stop to this.
Who's this we?
Just like you handled it on your own yesterday, they persist.
Why are you even asking me if you're itching to handle it yourself? Just do it then.
Caspian stands before the crowd with his arms outstretched.
You have until the count of 3 to escape with your possessions intact. 1, 2...
Okay, there we go. Press X. Or X. Oh, jeez.
Shameful. 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 Shameful.
I'm really confused on what's happening right now. Oh, am I restarting? Oh, I'm restarting. No, I'm not. Okay. His was the least... He just stood there. That wasn't very fun. We make our way to class on time. Go alone. Go long way alone. Sweet Williams. Coutier. Just go with the first one. It don't really matter. Water. I come from a long line of pure blood water elementals. It's not only what's expected of me, it just feels right. Right? Like, I thought, like, I could, like, move forward a little bit, but it just, like, didn't happen. You just stood there. Goddess help me, why can't I get Caspian out of my mind? He's so cold and distant, and even when he's nice to me, it doesn't last long. Still, I feel happy when I'm around him. Somehow, when he's proud of me in his own weird way, it makes me feel like I could do anything. All I want is for him to want me back, but I don't know if he could. Yeah, and the shameful. It's like rock, paper, scissors, I feel like is what I just played. It reminds me of the rock, if you ever played Amnesia Memories, Otome game, there's like a rock, paper, scissors mini game in it, and it's really annoying. It's a terrifying thought, but maybe I should just ask him. I don't want to waste my time mooning over someone who will never want me back. Yes, that's what I'll do. Especially when you have a whole village. Why waste your time? As I have the last few nights, I drift to sleep thinking of Caspian. And then now the village will be empty. Pull the door open and it nearly smashed into Caspian, who looks furious to see me.
What brought you here, foolish girl? Return to your room at once. It's too dangerous for you to remain.
I will not! Do you really think I'm going to run back to my room knowing you're out here risking your life for the village? For me?
Caspian glares at me.
You are a danger to yourself and others here. Do not argue with me now.
He barely gets the word out before the fighting spills out into the hallway.
Out!
I back up and run outside, pressing myself up against the side of the building. Some 20 human shoulders and elemental warriors come spilling out of the building. 2 of the human men are carrying our human prisoner between them. He looks terrified, but no worse for wear otherwise. The fighting is intense, but for some reason, none of the elementals are using magic. Caspian gives me one last look as if to warn me to stay out of it before returning to the fray. I won't stand by and watch him risk his life for me. I run right up to the first human shoulder I can see and blast him with a jet of water. Wah, wah. At least I try to, but nothing happens. I try again, but still nothing. Ignatius spots me immediately.
Are you crazy? Get out of here! Our magic isn't working!
Don't draw attention to her, you idiot!
Too late, several of the human shoulders begin fighting their way through the crowd towards me. Elementals are skilled fighters, but without our magic, we lose the advantage. It's only a matter of time before they reach me. Caspian tries to throw himself in the path of one of the soldiers, but before he can do anything, one of the human presses a blade to my throat. Combat ceases in an instant.
Surrender or the girl dies!
Do not waste the life of this worthless girl. Take me in her place.
Scuffle, 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 scuffle. I don't see any blood. Maybe they're fine. You'll be fine. You'll get out of this somehow. Caspian is here too. I glare at him through my peripheral vision. His expression is unreadable. Maybe he's thinking the same thing I am. It's the last thought I have before darkness overtakes me. The dungeon. I clap my hand over my mouth. Keep from making a sound. Caspian is in the cell next to me and he looks really awful. He's sustained several bruises and he seems to be either asleep or unconscious. Please just be sleeping. I decide a chance, a whisper.
Caspian! Caspian!
No response.
Did you say something?
Just whispering an elemental prayer, sir.
Well, keep it down in there!
He rattles the bars from my cell again. Caspian is close enough that I could reach out and touch him. I reach my hand through the hole and gently stroke his hair. Poor Caspian, you didn't deserve this. Caspian groans quietly, but does not wake up. A long stretch of time passes before he awakens. He sits up with a start, looking around widely. He must have gone down in the middle of a fight. Before I can do anything, Caspian discovers the hole and lies on his stomach to peek through. When he sees me, the look on his face is almost something like relief, an uncharacteristic display of emotion for him. He gathers some of the straw on his cell in a makeshift pillow and lays down as if to go to sleep. He taps his ear and points to me. When I press my ear in the hole, he cups his hand around. He mouths and whispers to me.
Are you hurt?
No, I'm all right. But what about you? What have they done to you?
Those treacherous dogs knocked you out just as soon as we'd left the village premises. I could not allow them to injure or kill Akash's only female.
Caspian, I'm so sorry they did this to you.
It was my choice to get involved in this matter. Do not apologize to me.
I'm sorry it happened like this. But I'm glad you're here with me, Caspian. I feel safer with you.
I am simply fulfilling my duty.
Oh, lies. I expected a response like that, but he sounds sort of embarrassed. I decided to take a chance and reach through the hole.
What are you doing?
Please? It's cold and uncomfortable and a bit scary here. Would you hold my hand? ...
No response. I should have known better than to try something like that. With him, I start to withdraw my hand, but something stops me.
Thank you, Caspian. ...
If we are to escape, you'll need to have your wits about you. Try to rest. I will devise a plan in the meantime.
The cell is uncomfortable, but his warmth helps put me at ease. I fall asleep holding his hand through the hole. I could swear I heard someone whispering my name, but I'm sure it must be my imagination. I turn over and decide to go back to sleep, but a strong hand grabs my shoulder and shakes me roughly, jerking me away.
You are wasting our time. Get up.
I roll over to the sight of an arm draped in blue, retracting back through the hole. I crawl closer and peek through, bringing my face to face with Caspian.
At last you have awakened.
After all we've been through, you couldn't think of a gentler way to wake me?
Gentler? You did not respond to me calling your name. What would you have me do?
I can't resist.
A kiss would be nice.
It is physically impossible for my lips to reach yours.
I know that. I'm just giving you a hard time. Seriously, just don't be so rough next time. Anyway, have you arrived at a plan?
Yes, I shall bait the guard into fighting me by insulting his honor. Then when he enters my cell, I shall overpower him and take the keys.
Caspian, how many men did it take to subdue you?
14.
5.
Oh.
But they were armed, and I was not.
Right. Now look at you and look at that guy.
I cannot see him from here.
Figuratively, Caspian. You're like twice his size. There's no way he'll agree to fight you one-on-one.
Perhaps. But this human does not seem exceptionally intelligent to me.
Yeah?
Perhaps we could use that to our advantage.
What are you thinking?
Just lie still and let me do the talking. What I need from you should become apparent rather quickly.
Okay. I'm trusting you to handle this.
I will not fail you a second time.
Aww.
What do you mean a second time?
Do not waste time with such questions. Get into position.
I open my mouth to protest, but before I can respond, I hear a terrible noise echoing through Caspian's cell. It sounds as though he might have thrown his food bowl at the bars. It shatters loudly, startling the guard. I roll over onto my stomach and let my hair fall over my face. I hear the guard's footsteps stomping over to Caspian's cell.
Boss never told me I couldn't kill you, so keep it down in there or I'll...
Yes, but tell me, how long until the sun rises?
2 hours maybe? I don't carry my pocket watch on patrol, idiot.
Oh no. You poor man, they had no right. No right at all. What a cowardly thing to do.
What the hell are you talking about?
You have no idea what is about to happen to you, do you?
Spit it out before I run you through with my spear.
Probably.
Well,
maybe
every
not.
man has the right to face his death with dignity, does he not? I suppose you deserve to know what manner of death is coming to you.
She's gonna turn into an evil demon.
Death? What are you talking about?
Have a look in the cell next door. What do you see?
I can just barely see through the hair covering my face, but I can make out the guard peering into my cell.
Your little friend is sleeping.
That is not sleep. She is just barely clinging to consciousness as what's left of her life force slowly ebbs.
What are you talking about? She was fine a few hours ago.
They really did not tell you. But I suppose such behavior is to be expected from humans.
Just tell me already.
Very well. Have you never wondered why there are so few elemental females?
I really don't care. Get on with it!
All right then. Skipping to the end. A great and fearsome elemental queen decreed long ago that whosoever removed a female elemental from her homeland for longer than 2 days would die a horrible death.
What?
His blood will boil, his skin will melt, his organs roil, his...
You're lying!
If only. Surely you do not think I wish to see such a gruesome sight.
So you're telling me her and I both are gonna die?
I wish it were not so. But at this point we are quickly approaching the sunrise of the second day, so it is too late for her.
And me?
Well, no. But surely you do not intend to abandon your post. That would not be enough to save your life anyway.
I'm not saying I believe you. But what would be?
It is complicated at this late stage. But I do know an old elemental prayer that might work.
So you'll help me?
Why should I?
I'm sorry about your friend, but there's no need for both of us to die, man! I'm just following orders. I don't run anything around here!
Oh. If you heard thunder, there is a storm, I guess, brewing outside.
Your piteous begging has moved me. I will help you. But I warn you, in order for this to work, both of us will have to be in her cell.
What? You're just trying to get me to let you out!
Suit yourself. All I ask is that you stay away from my cell. I cannot do anything about the screaming, but I would rather not have to witness the moment of your cruel, accursed death.
Okay, I'm opening your door. But
But so help me, if you try any funny business, I'll kill you and then all three of us will be dead.
Understood.
I hear the jingling of keys followed by a metal door of Caspian's cell scraping across the floor. For a moment, I can't hear anything. Then slowly, cautious footsteps as Caspian and the guard come into my sight. The guard keeps his spear trained on Caspian, but Hurley unlocks the door and waves him in, pulling it shut behind them. I close my eyes and make my breathing as slow and quiet as I can.
Get in there. Let's do this.
Caspian kneels at my side and takes my hand. He feels for my pulse and shakes his head.
Cut down in the prime of her life. Oh, goddess, what a waste.
Quit wasting time and do the thing before it's too late!
And do the thing.
You will have to put your spear down and join me here.
You never said that was a part of the deal!
Perhaps human gods do not mind having instruments of violence being used during your prayers, but our goddess is quite particular about that. Still, it is your life, not mine.
The guard hurlies away for a moment, then kneels opposite Caspian.
Oh, goddess, please spare this innocent man from the Queen's curse. He is but a lowly guard.
Lovely. I steal a glance at the guard. His head is bowed and his eyes are screwed shut. Time to strike. I launch a kick at his face and catch him off guard, sending him sprawling across the floor. I leap up off the floor and grab the spear, whirling around just in time to strike the guard in the butt. With the butt. He lies on the floor in the front of me, gasping for breath. I must have knocked the wind out of him. I point the spear at his throat.
You aren't dying?
I have questions, and you're going to answer them.
Or what?
I'll kill you and just figure it out later.
I'm gonna get fired anyway. Nothing to lose, I guess.
I look at Caspian, he nods at me.
Tell me how they're suppressing our magic.
We found this necklace in some old elemental ruins a while back. Our shaman figured out at some point it can be used to interfere with elemental magic. We don't really know much else about it, though.
Where can we find this necklace now?
The shaman never seems to take it off, so probably somewhere in the temple.
And just where is this temple?
It's on a hill at the north end of the village. It's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious.
You're going to have to do better than that.
I poke him lightly with the spear, just enough to produce a yelp from him.
Sorry, please! It's a huge blue building, you can't miss it. Columns and a great flame that never goes out. You'll know it when you see it.
Thanks. You've been super helpful.
What happens now?
You'll have to ask someone else.
Bring the spear butt down on his head, knocking him out.
You really took your time earlier. A moment longer and he might have begun to suspect something.
Hey, I got it done, didn't I? Let's just get out of here.
What of this coward?
I reach down and grab the keys from the guard's belt and use them to lock him in the cell. I toss the keys across the room.
You don't have to worry about him for a few hours at least.
Caspian cracks the hallway door open and peeks through, searching for any signs of danger. He beckons me forward.
Clear. Let us leave before his replacement arrives.
I'm right behind you.
I follow Caspian outside into the hall. I need to turn on a light because it got real dark all of a sudden from the storm. I can see again. Okay. We step into the hallway with a large window in one wall. Caspian takes a look around the corner and sure we're still alone, then beckons me to the window.
We are the least likely to run into any resistance if we climb down through here.
Can we even climb down this wall? I can't see anything from here.
Caspian pushes the shutters open and climbs out, disappearing from view without another word. I stick my head over the ledge and see Caspian just below, waving me down.
Come down. The ledge is quite safe.
Okay, on my way down.
I climb out of the window, taking great care to shut it behind me before climbing down to join Caspian on the ledge.
Where do we go from here?
We must climb down, of course, but... do you hear that? It sounds like running water.
My ears aren't quite as attuned to the sound of water as yours, but I think so.
We must locate it.
It sounds like it's around the other side.
There. Could it be a part of the Almas River?
A narrow but deep-looking stretch of river runs along the side of the building and through the village.
The water looks awfully dark for the Almas. You don't think it's dirty, do you?
How long can you hold your breath?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes? I don't swim much anymore.
Before I can even finish my sentence, Caspian throws his arms around my waist and jumps off the ledge, dragging me with him. I take in a breath as quickly as I can before we plunge into the cold, dark water. I can't see a thing, but Caspian seems to know where he's going. He tucks me under one arm and navigates with his free hand. I'm torn between irritation at his refusal to inform me of his plans and reluctant admiration of his ability to take charge of our situation. So this is different too. 10 minutes must have gone by because I start to feel I'm on the edge of passing out. I pound on Caspian's chest with my fist urgently as he seems to get the message. We surface and I gasp, taking the sweet air in.
Take another deep breath. We must continue.
Give me a minute to catch my breath, Caspian.
We do not have time to wait for you to breathe.
Rude.
Would you rather swim with a corpse in your arms? Just...
I take a moment to look around. We seem to be on the edge of the village. There's some sort of fruit orchard on either side of us. My eyes align on some reeds by the riverbank. Caspian watches me curiously as I grab one and snap the edge off.
What are you doing?
I can use this to breathe. There's no way I'm going to keep up with you otherwise.
Good. Let us be off then.
Wait, where are we even going? We have to get to the temple and find that artifact.
Yes, I am well aware. I can detect traces of powerful magic in the currents, and I am following them to their source. That is where we are currently headed.
That's great, Caspian, but I'm going to need you to start sharing your plans with me. We're supposed to be a team, and you're just dragging me along like I'm your subordinate.
Well, you're aware now, are you not? Prepare your reed and hold on to me.
Goddess, you are infuriating sometimes. No, you know what? Most of the time.
Dot dot.
All right, let's go.
I fill my lungs once more before following Caspian into the current below. As Caspian and I continue our journey upriver, water grows cleaner eventually. We reach the point where the river is divided off into a tiled thin canal. I'm forced to abandon my reed as it's a tight fit, but Caspian and I manage to swim up the increasingly narrow path. Eventually, we emerge in a wide, shallow pool. I look around the room, trying to get my bearings. It looks like we must be in a black back room of the temple. There's not much here aside from a pool, what looks like some ceremonial candles, and a room is decorated with chipped mosaics. Several pipes run out of the pool and across the wall. This pool and river must be used as a water source for the
source of the magic is close. Even you must be able to sense it now.
Even me?
Not rude.
I simply meant someone like you who is less sensitive to the changes in the water.
Well, you're right. I can definitely feel it here.
Out of the water, my ability to track the artifact is lessened. Ordinarily, it would be nothing for me to track the source of such extraordinary energy, but this block has made things considerably more difficult. I shall require your assistance.
What do you need me to do?
Simply concentrate on that magical energy, and place your hands upon mine.
Caspian holds his hands out to me with his palms facing up. It's strange to see him in this vulnerable position. I've never seen him ask anyone for help before. I place my hands upon his and close my eyes, concentrating.
That will do.
Oh, I did not even read that.
The artifact appears...
I just skipped it. I don't know if this is going to work, but here goes nothing. I will myself to focus on that intense power, steering my mind away from the distraction of Caspian's hands on mine, or the fear of being caught and thrown back into the tower dungeon, or worse, focus.
Appears to be somewhere in the back of the temple.
Well, if you're ready, lead the way, I guess.
You seem hesitant.
I'm just a bit nervous. And we're walking through this place soaking wet. It makes me feel even more vulnerable.
Water is a part of your very essence. It should fill you with comfort. However, you might dry yourself off with some of those robes there.
Is that sacrilegious?
Do you fear human gods?
Well, maybe not specifically, but I don't like the idea of disrespecting any deities.
Ask the human gods for their forgiveness, then. Or embrace your heritage. But do it quickly.
Embracing my heritage it is, then.
Caspian looks at me awkwardly for a moment, and then puts his hand on my shoulder.
Do not be afraid. You are a capable fighter. Far from the best in our class, but impressive nonetheless.
Do you usually insult people while you're trying to comfort them?
If you are feeling well enough to argue, perhaps we can be on our way.
After you.
We enter into a large open space, pool, fountain, trickles of
What do we do?
We cannot attack a man in the middle of a prayer, nor can we allow him to raise the alarm.
Maybe if we hurry.
Monk opens his eyes and looks right at us, still mouthing a silent prayer. I glare at the monk, pouring all the frustration I'm feeling out of the current situation into my gaze. Don't try it, human. He holds my gaze for a few moments, continuing to mouth the prayer all the while. After what feels like an eternity, he eventually turns back to the fountain in his prayer.
That man is a liability, but the risk is too great for us to deal with him now. We must hurry forward.
Do I feel better? Cass and I enter a long hallway lit by flickering torches where the last room was beautiful, almost inviting. This hallway is opposite in every way. The temple has been quiet up until this point, but the silence is eerie and uncomfortable here. There are several doors along either side of a dimly lit corridor, but Caspian leads us past all of them before stopping at a massive door at the end of the hallway.
The necklace lies beyond this wall. We should expect resistance, so prepare for a fight.
I'm ready, Caspian.
Caspian nods to me and slowly pulls the door open. Caspian and I look at each other for a moment, but we can't confer right now. I make my way over to the bed without waiting for Caspian's reaction. I can feel his distress, but we don't have time for anything else. I step lighter than I ever have. Pretty much read this before. I hold my breath and stretch my hand out towards the gem, inch by painful inch. Could it really be this easy? We'll just take it and go. Just as my hand is about to reach the necklace, the shaman's eyes fly open and the necklace cracks to life. He sits straight up in his bed and extends his hand towards me, hurling a bolt of energy at me. I don't even have time to react. I brace myself for pain, but before I know it, I'm on the floor. I look up to see Caspian behind me. He must have thrown me out of the way. He catches the brunt of the blast and it knocks him to the ground, leaving him clenching at his chest and gasping for breath. The shaman jumps out of bed and takes aim at Caspian again, but I can't let that happen. In desperation, I jump forward and make a grab for the necklace. My fists close around the immense jewel and finding white hot pain. My body goes rigid and my own screams fill my ear. My eyes roll back into my head and I can't see anything for a moment, but while the pain is intense, underneath it is a massive power like nothing I've ever felt in my life. The energy surge feels like an eternity, but it's only lasts a few moments. I open my eyes and see the shaman preparing to blast me. I smash my free hand into his face and hold on tightly as I can. Wave after wave of elemental magic flow through my hand and into the shaman, battering his body. He crumples to the ground, seemingly unconscious. As he falls, the chain on the necklace shatters, leaving its broken remnants in my hand. I fall to my knees and catch my breath for a moment, trying to compose myself. I look over to where Caspian is lying on the ground. He looks pretty bad. I crawl over to him, necklace in hand.
Caspian! Are you alright?
I am fine. The necklace.
I look at the necklace in my hand, and somehow the chain appears to have repaired itself. Throw the necklace on, deciding not to question it for now. With that settled, I help Caspian to his feet, throwing his arms over my shoulder to support him.
I had hoped things would not end here. But dying in service of one's people is the most honorable death there is.
What are you talking about? We're not going to die here. We'll get out of here. I'm going to try something.
I close my eyes and concentrate, ignoring the rising wave of anxiety in my chest. Dear Goddess, if you're listening, please grant us your favor. Help us through our way home. Help us find our way home. The amulet sends waves of magic power humming through my body, and I give myself over to it entirely. I open my eyes and see a water dragon. It's pretty cool. A mass of rolling anger water colossus into a serpentine form of a leviathan. It opens its mouth and roars, an unearthly sound that sends a chill down my spine. It scarcely fits in a massive room. It's coiled upon itself a few times over.
This is ancient magic. How?
I don't know, but we don't have time to figure it out.
As I approach the Leviathan, I lower myself to the ground and it looks up at me expectantly, as if to invite me to ride it. I give its neck a hesitant pat, and when I find my hand doesn't go straight through it, I climb up and help Caspian up behind me. He murmurs to himself,
Never thought I'd see former glory.
Blasts a hole in the ceiling, sending chunks of tile in every direction. I will the Leviathan forward, and miraculously it obliges, rising up into the air as several monks come streaming in through the doorway. They gap at us as we fly away. A less mature elemental might be tempted to leave them with a rude gesture. Did he smack her in the head? The sensation is too great to resist as I flash them the most vulgar gesture I know. Caspian shakes his head weakly behind me.
Do not lower yourself to their level.
But it's fun sometimes. The Leviathan flew for hours without tiring before finally landing in an open clearing. Even as hurt as he is, Caspian's pride still preserves him from leaning too much on me. Finally, I can feel Caspian stirring against my shoulder.
We're in the forest on the way home. We're going to rest here for a little while.
I carefully ease Caspian off my shoulder and climb down off of the Leviathan. As I help him As I help him down, I have to look at him. He doesn't look any better than when we left. As soon as we've just demounted, the Leviathan vanishes into the ether. I'll have to recall it when I'm ready to go. I hold my hand out towards a patch of grass and help it grow into a nice soft bed. I guide the groggy Caspian over to it and help him lie down.
Just relax. We're safe here for now.
Thank the goddess this is happening before my coming of age ceremony. I'm going to need every element to help us get home safely. First, I need to take care of Caspian. He's not going anywhere like this. I inspect Caspian there, just above his heart, a nasty magical burn My chest feels tight. He was protecting me. This never would have happened to him if it weren't for me.
This is probably going to hurt. I'm so sorry for the pain.
I take his hand in mine and place my other hand as tenderly as I can on the burned area. I can feel his body contorting under my touch already. This is not going to be easy. I try to clear my mind and concentrate on mending his body, muscles, tissue, organs. Caspian's screaming cuts through my thoughts like a knife. His hand crushes my fingers together painfully. I squeeze my eyes shut and bow my head into my chest, willing myself to ignore the sounds of the crushing pain in my hand. Heal him. Just get him through this. After some time, Caspian's grip on my hand loosens and the screaming stops. His breathing is labored, but the burn has all but disappeared from his chest. A small scar remains. Even with this amulet amplifying my power, it's not quite enough to counteract that magic. He's going to need some time to rest. As I think back on my magic lessons, Lux's voice echoes in my head.
Experienced users of light magic can heal even the most devastating wounds, but magic will only take you so far. The body must still rest and heal itself. Magic can only speed up the healing process. It can't bypass it.
I brush a stray lock of hair from Caspian's forehead. Is now beating with sweat. I'm so sorry this happened to you. No better time than the present to have a quick look around. This location will do, but I'll need to make it a bit safer. I should be able to grow the trees together so that they hide us, but I ought to forage first. Caspian will need food and fresh water. I grow the grass around Caspian just high enough to hide him from prying eyes. I probably shouldn't be too long, though. This might hide him from humans, but animals won't be fooled by a bit of grass. I find a river a few minutes' walk from the makeshift campsite. That shore might be part of the Almas River. My geography has never been very good, but it's the only major river around our village and theirs. After some searching, I find some mushrooms, blackberries, chestnuts. Not bad at all. We can roast the chestnuts over the fire. Some warm food should do Caspian a lot of good. Food in hand, I hurry back to the clearing. Caspian sleeps peacefully behind the wall of grass, seemingly unaware I ever left. I gather some kindling to build a small fire. Thankfully, magical flames are virtually smokeless. I build a nest of stones over the fire and arrange the chestnuts within to roast. I step back for a moment to admire my handiwork. Not bad at all. I sit by the fire and keep a watch on Caspian and our chestnuts. A few hours later, I hear Caspian rustling around, so I set the chestnuts in my hand aside and peek at him through the curtain of grass.
Where are we?
We're in a patch of forest between the villages. How are you feeling?
Do not trouble yourself worrying about how I feel.
Ornery much? He tries to sit up but winces. I hold my hands out to stop him.
Don't get up yet. Just stay there.
I will do as I please.
Caspian tries to sit up again, but he seems to be in too much pain to succeed. He glares at me from the ground as I hover over him.
You're so stubborn. Just let me help you. You need to eat something. Don't mind me, okay?
I kneel behind him and carefully prop his head against my lap.
I am not some infant who cannot feed himself.
I stuff a shelled chestnut into his mouth. To my great surprise, a blush spreads across Caspian's cheek. Is his face just flustered with exhaustion? Or is it embarrassment? Embarrassment! Caspian eats and then and his silence reluctantly allowing me to feed him. Eventually, I run out of chestnuts and Caspian weighs me away.
I believe I am strong enough to sit up on my own.
I give him some space and he slowly sits up, stretching as he does so.
I do not approve of your methods, but you have restored me, and for that I thank you.
Don't thank me. You wouldn't have been in this mess if it weren't for me.
It is my duty as your classmate to ensure that no harm comes to you.
It isn't really, Caspian. It's kind that you think so, but you went out of your way for me and you got hurt in the process.
It is nothing.
Oops. We lapse into an awkward silence. Caspian isn't very good with compliments or thanks. Caspian's eyes are somewhat behind me. Or somewhere behind me. I turn to see him looking at the fire.
What is it?
Your coming-of-age ceremony is close, yet you continue to use fire magic.
Jealous of a little fire?
Only small minds are capable of jealousy. I was merely curious.
Lies.
You are unbelievable sometimes.
I do not wish to argue with you. We should return to the village now.
Once you're well enough to travel, we'll head home. I want to keep an eye on you for tonight.
I am well enough now. There is no need to delay further.
I am well enough now.
I'm not taking any chances. That was some powerful magic, and we don't know if you're fully healed. It might have some side effects that haven't manifested yet, and I do not want to be in the air when that happens.
Go for it.
We've got a massive head start on them, and this is a nice little setup we have here. I want to keep an eye on you for tonight, and then we'll leave tomorrow.
It seems you have made up your mind, so I suppose I have no choice.
Damn right.
Kagistan? Kagistan?
Your concern is unnecessary.
But...
Thank you.
Well, look at you, being nice for a change.
Do you truly find me so insufferable?
Yes.
Insufferable is a pretty strong word. You just don't have to be so guarded and arrogant all the time. Look, we don't need to talk about this right now. I want you to take it easy, okay? There's a nice, calm stretch of river nearby if you'd like to have a bath.
Caspian's face lights up with the mention of water.
Yes. A bath would be most welcome.
It's just a few minutes east of here. Just hurry back so I can bathe too.
Do not rush me. Water is essential to my recovery.
Recovery? I thought you were feeling fine.
I am. I was simply putting it in terms you would understand.
Oh, goddess, just go.
Dot. Caspian turns and walks off into the forest in the direction of the river. I sit by the fire, turning the day's events over in my mind. As more time passes, I can't help but wonder how Caspian is doing. It's been almost an hour. It only takes a few minutes to get to the river and get back. Could something have happened? What if he collapses along the way? Or worse, I have to go check on him. I set off for the river as quickly as I can, looking for signs of Caspian all along the trail. No signs of trouble yet. As I get closer to the river, my heart beats faster and faster. Please let him be all right. I can hear loud splashing. I burst through the tree line and come upon the river, and where I find... What does she find? Caspian, as naked as the day he was born. I'm floored with a mix of feelings. Do you see butt? Butt. Sorry. Relief that he's alright, confusion as to why it's taken him so long, and appreciation for the male form in front of me, whose back is to me, so he hasn't seen me yet. But for some reason, my legs won't work anymore. All I can do is stare. As if on cue, Caspian turns to see me ogling at him. He gives me a reluctant smile and holds his hand out to me. Oh my god.
Oh, it's you. The water is so wonderful here. Won't you join me?
Oh my god. My face feels like it's on fire. He can't really be asking what I think he is. My mind is starting to go a mile a minute.
Join you? But we haven't even kissed yet.
Caspian looks down at his body for a moment, then throws his head back and laughter. Who is this man? What is going on right now?
Oh, I'd forgotten I was undressed. That must have sounded very forward.
What? This is not like Caspian at all. I'm so confused. His inner Rocco is coming out, apparently. I suddenly remember the reason I came here and tear my eyes away from him.
I didn't come here to peek at you. It's been almost an hour. I was worried about you.
He
I
did
thought something
say
might have
not
happened.
to rush him.
I apologize for worrying you, but surely you can understand why I might wish to take my time here.
He's trying to be so logical, and it's funny. I'm just glad you're all right. You don't have to apologize for the... you don't have to apologize for a thing right now.
You don't have to apologize for a thing right now.
I love her. Why?
Oh, nothing.
I suppose I should let you bathe then. Just a moment.
He's like a mix of Rocco and Rowan, because he's a little absent-minded, and he had a total Rocco moment, and I just don't understand. I can hear the water dripping off of him as he climbs out of the river. My brain paints a vivid mental image of rides past me, fully dressed and not a single wet hair, perfect as ever. I make certain Caspian has disappeared entirely before undressing and take my turn in the river. I can't blame Caspian for taking his time in here. This feels really wonderful after all we've been through. I lay back and feel my hair pooling around me in the cool, clear water. I can't believe everything that's happened and that we made it out of there in mostly one piece. Caspian put his life on the line for me more than once. I need to make sure I thank him properly, and I want to talk to him about how I feel. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like something's changed between us lately. He's not as cold as he used to be, and all that just now, I know I didn't imagine that smile. But I'll worry about that when I get back. I sink under the surface of the water, clearing my mind of any further thought. I return to the clearing to find Caspian sitting by the fire. He smiles at me. I guess he's not upset with me from earlier.
How did you find the water?
I don't think he's upset about the encounter at all.
It was pretty lovely. I can't really blame you for taking your time.
Indeed.
I throw some of the leftover chestnuts from earlier in the day into our makeshift rock grill to roast before I join Caspian by the fire. A gem around my necklace catches the firelight. I can see Caspian looking at it.
I am curious to learn more about this jewel. It appears to be capable of all sorts of powerful magic.
So smart, Caspian.
Yeah, we'll have to take it to the elders straight away when we get back. At the very least, they can keep it from getting into human hands again.
Yes. I fear everything will change when we return to the village.
Why's that?
Invading our territory and capturing you and I was an overt act of warfare. It cannot go unpunished.
Well, I
Right?
guess so, but we did have their chief's son.
A grown man who was captured when he ventured into hostile territory.
I know, but things have been tense for so long now. It's just a complicated situation.
We can certainly agree on that. But enough talk of humans. There is something else I wish to discuss with you.
Am I in trouble?
Sounds serious. Am I in trouble?
What? No. Quite the opposite.
What? That was a good reaction. Caspian strokes his beard idly, as though he's not sure where to begin. He sighs.
I have been unkind to you.
What?
That is a fact. We have known each other since we were small children, and yet you know almost nothing about me. And you have never known me to be a kind man, because I have not been.
This apologetic version of Caspian is throwing me off. I've never seen him like this once in the 17 years we've known each other.
I guess so.
Right? Him apologizing. Shook.
I owe you an apology.
What?
I don't understand. What's bringing this on? This isn't like you.
I have had a lot of time to think over the last 2 days. Will you hear me out?
I suppose.
Go ahead.
In my home village, a great deal is expected of me. My family has led our village for generations, and we are one of the few families that has managed to keep a pure elemental bloodline. I have always done as my parents asked of me. I was a dutiful son. But when they learned one of my classmates was a pure blood elemental girl, well, surely you can imagine their response. I allowed them to decide every aspect of my life. My schooling, my clothes, my hair, my aspirations, everything. But this was too far. I am not proud of this, but I resolved I would not speak to you more than necessary. And that if you were ever to show any interest in me, I would make my feelings quite clear. However, this week it seemed that no matter where I went, there you were. And try as I might, I could not put the thought of you out of my mind, even at night.
Ooh. He actually blushes.
You came to me in my dreams. During this ordeal, I have seen a side to you I never imagined. I knew you to be capable, certainly, but you have earned my respect and my admiration.
Oh, come on, admiration. Just say it, Caspian.
I don't know what to say.
Perhaps I do not deserve it. But if we could start anew from this point, as friends...
Is friendship all you want from me?
No, but I dared not hope for more.
I'm moving closer to Caspian, closing the distance between us.
Well, you have been awfully mean to me. But maybe you could hope a little bit.
Caspian gives me that radiant smile again, leaving me so dazzled it takes me a moment to notice how close his face has gotten. Suddenly his lips are on mine and I've forgotten everything I've ever known. His beard tickles my face and he pulls away far too soon.
I do not deserve your forgiveness, but I will spend the rest of my life making it up to you, if you'll allow me.
You can start right now with another kiss.
With pleasure.
With pleasure. This time he takes me in his arms and I am simply overwhelmed by his touch. He kisses me with a passion I never would have expected from his once cold, distant man. Eventually, regretfully, I am forced to cut our embrace short.
That's probably enough excitement for tonight. You're supposed to be resting.
I can rest and kiss you at the same time. I am capable of doing more than one thing at once.
Absolutely not.
Did you not enjoy it?
Now he's self-conscious.
Of course I enjoyed it. That's sort of the whole problem. You've been through a lot. Your body needs to rest. We don't want your heart going crazy.
If you insist. But if you should change your mind,
Don't tempt me.
I will be here.
As Caspian disappears in the grass, I hug my knees to my chest and try to calm my racing thoughts. But I can't quite believe what just happened. I spent the rest of the evening pondering my evolving relationship with Caspian while he sleeps in the grass some distance away. I wake to find myself in the bed of grass I had created for Caspian. I must have fallen asleep at some point. I sit up to see Caspian gazing thoughtfully into the fire. I hope he's feeling better.
Caspian?
Sound of my voice snaps Caspian out of his reverie. He rises to greet me, smiling.
Did you sleep well?
Yes, thank you. Are you feeling better today?
With the exception of the scar tissue, my body has made a full recovery.
Sorry about that. Lux probably could have eliminated that entirely. I'm not very good with serious wounds.
I do not mind it. It reminds me of you.
I'm kind of touched to hear you say that.
I guess I'm going to have to get used to these awkward silences if I'm going to be spending more time with Caspian.
Well, if you're feeling better, then I guess we can get moving again.
I shall be interested to see you summon the Leviathan again.
Here goes.
Conjure up the image of Leviathan in my mind, forcing my energy through the gem. A few moments later, the Leviathan appears before us, just as majestic as ever.
This is ancient magic, you know. If word got out that such a thing was possible, there could be fighting even amongst our own people to control it.
I never thought about that. I hope the elders will know what to do.
I'm certain they will, but...
He twirls the end of his mustache contemplatively.
I should very much like to try it for myself.
You would.
We'll see. Maybe if you're good, I'll let you have a turn with it.
I climb up onto the Leviathan. Caspian follows me after, wrapping his strong arms around my waist.
I'm always good. Perhaps the necklace is beginning to affect your brain.
Your chances with this necklace are getting smaller and smaller with every word you say, Caspian.
You are a tyrant.
Ever smaller.
A beautiful tyrant?
Nice save.
The Leviathan rises into the air, carrying us high above the treetops. Just a few hours later, just a few hours from the village, I can see what appears to be a regiment of elemental warriors from our village.
Caspian, look there!
Our men. They must be on their way to retrieve us.
I think of the impact of our disappearance must have had on the village. It makes my stomach churn.
Why are we still airborne? We should not delay any further.
I think maybe we should ditch our ride. We can talk to the elders about it, but I don't want to freak anybody out.
If you insist.
I circle around and land us some distance back. As we dismount, I give the Leviathan one last look. I look into what I assume are its eyes.
Thanks. Good girl. Boy?
I give its watery neck a pat, but it doesn't seem to register.
Okay. That's that then.
I dismiss the Leviathan and it winks out of existence. A few moments later, after I hear a shout and 2 young scouts come running through the forest, abandoning all pretense of discretion. Oops.
It's them! They're all right!
Yay! The other scouts run back, and a few moments later we're surrounded by a dozen or so of our village's finest warriors. They thump Caspian on the back and lift me onto their shoulders. After a few moments of celebration, the leader instructs the soldiers to break.
What is your next move?
We were coming to negotiate for your release. But now that you've escaped and taken this artifact, there is sure to be a reprisal. We must go ahead to ensure that our village will be protected. We must let them know this will not be tolerated.
I'm not sure if that's a good idea. If our people clash again, there's no avoiding war between our villages. If I could just speak to the elders, maybe we could come up with some diplomatic resolution. We can't keep this up forever.
I beg of you to return to the village with us now. Caspian and I are fine. There's no longer any need to endanger the lives of our men. We must tread carefully. One wrong move could ignite a war between our people that could last for generations. But if it gives you comfort, perhaps you could send half the men simply to scout ahead for any human reprisals.
To my surprise, the leader simply agrees with me. He gives me a curt nod and signals to the men to get going.
Move out.
Caspian leans in and whispers to me.
Strange that he should acquiesce to you so easily.
Yeah, I was expecting more resistance.
Something here doesn't add up.
I wonder what that was about.
He gives me one last hug, wipes his eyes, and takes off through the crowd. I look over at Caspian. The crowd has lifted him onto their shoulders, and he has a bored expression on his face, as though he's simply waiting for them to finish.
Caspian! Meet me in the council hall when you get a moment.
Caspian nods. Hopefully he can extract himself soon. My nerves and my stomach give way to butterflies when I see Caspian come jogging up the path. At least I won't be doing it alone.
I have kept you waiting. I apologize.
Don't worry about it. I'm just so glad you're here with me.
I will always be by your side. If you'll have me.
Gotta hit the door like that. That's why he gotta hit the door like that.
The elders have seen many things over the years, and they will be best equipped to handle this. Everything will be all right.
I sure hope so.
My father sits next to Elder Glenn. He pats the 2 empty seats next to him. At Caspian, I take our place before the console.
Thank you for joining us so quickly, despite the ordeal you must have faced. Caspian, your bravery in the face of an unknown danger and service to our village and your people shall not be forgotten. You will receive a special commendation at the coming-of-age ceremony next week.
Thank you, Elder.
I am ashamed to admit I assumed Caspian had rescued you. It seems that without you, Caspian would not be here with us today. Please look forward to your own commendation at the coming-of-age ceremony next week.
That is not entirely true, Aberforth. She has seen more of the human village than anyone in this room.
There is another matter which must be resolved.
It indicates the necklace around my neck.
This artifact was being used by their shaman to suppress our magic.
It seems to amplify magic as well. I was able to use it to do some pretty amazing things.
It must be studied immediately. Please, give it to my page.
Absolutely.
I go to pull the necklace over my head, but it won't move. Panic rises in my chest. I yank at the necklace as if it's made of lead.
Is something wrong?
It won't move. I can't take it off.
Perhaps I can help.
He takes a hold of the necklace and does his best to pull it off, but it won't move, and elders murmur amongst themselves.
We shall simply have to study this artifact with your assistance. But we'll need you to come with us immediately so we can ensure it is not harming you.
Caspian swiftly stands.
I will accompany her. There is...
No. We cannot have you in our way.
We appreciate your concern, but I assure you we will take care of her.
As they lead me away, I notice Papa giving Caspian a suspicious, searching glance.
Don't worry, Caspian. It hasn't hurt me so far. I'll come find you after, I promise.
All right.
We can wait together, Caspian. We should chat.
Sorry?
I exit the council hall a few hours later, no worse for wear. To my surprise, Caspian is leaning against the wall by the door. As soon as he sees me, he sighs.
You were gone for so long. I began to fear the worst.
I'm all right, Caspian. They said it seems like it's okay for now. But I'm gonna have to keep reporting in for tests, and they gave me this.
In Spanish. I hold up a scroll of parchment.
I'm gonna have to record some things for them.
What manner of things?
You know, certain measurements, strange happenings, and so on.
Strange happenings. Let us hope nothing like that comes to pass. Perhaps we should discuss something else. Your coming-of-age ceremony is less than a week away.
Oh, goddess, don't remind me. I'm not even close to done with my planning. But is it really okay for me to be worrying about that right now? We're on the brink of war.
The eyes of the entire village are upon you at this moment. If they see you panic, they will panic. If they see you continue on as though nothing is wrong, they will do the same. Not everyone will be on the front lines. Sometimes finding the courage to carry on is the greatest battle of all.
Wow, Caspian. That's kind of deep.
Kind of deep.
Thank you.
Caspian still doesn't know what to do with himself in these moments, but he seems to be trying. He gives me a small smile.
All right, you've convinced me. I guess I'll go pick out my cake. You want to come with me?
My opinion will be of little use to you, as I do not care for most sweets. But I would enjoy the opportunity to spend time with you.
Come on, then.
I suppose I should sample them too. I should make sure they are worthy of you.
They say. He reaches for a pile of cakes, but Magma slaps his hand away.
Those are for the lady.
You dare! I should teach you some respect.
Caspian, it's fine. I don't mind sharing.
You have a generous spirit, unlike some.
Magnus and Caspian glare at each other while I continue sampling cakes.
Anyway, perhaps you'd like to have a look at some of these designs. I thought we might incorporate each of the elements into your cake to celebrate your decision. Unless you've thought about what you might choose.
Caspian looks at me with great interest.
I thought I'd keep it a surprise until the ceremony.
There's nothing like a dramatic reveal. Perfect!
Exactly. So I think having all the elements present is wonderful.
Surely you would inform those you are close to before the ceremony.
Nope.
Sorry, Caspian. You'll just have to wait like everyone else.
Perfection.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
I shall begin preparations at once. Please look forward to seeing the real thing in a week's time. All I need to know is which flavor cake you liked best.
I squint deep in thought.
Bergamot and black tea.
Excellent choice.
Too sweet. I would prefer something more sensible, like a carrot cake.
Are you mad? There's no fun in that flavor at all.
I like carrot cake.
I like carrot cake.
Me too.
Well, thank you so much, Magnus. I can't wait to see and taste the cakes in a week.
My pleasure.
It's usually the cake I picked when I was a kid for my birthday.
What a rude man. If you had not stayed my hand...
It's not worth it, Caspian. He's just a bit sensitive about cake. You have to be the bigger man in a situation like this.
Bigger man.
I already am the bigger man. I could fold him in half like so much pastry dough. I do not wish to discuss this man further. I must leave you here. I have some affairs I must attend to.
Yeah, I've got some things to take care of myself. See you around, Caspian.
Most certainly.
Most certainly. Oh, now we got the flowers. I'm standing in a grassy meadow. My necklace glows, and suddenly meadows burst into full bloom, with flowers sprouting up to cover every inch in sight. I feel hope blossom within me, but I can't explain why. As I'm admiring the flowers, I feel a strong hand on my shoulder. It's Caspian. Oh, I need to plug in my controller soon. When I think of kissing Caspian, I blush and smile to myself. I'm not sure I want to share that part. Let's leave it at I dreamed of love. Carrot cake is good. So is zucchini bread. Dot dot dot. I open the door and step out in the hallway, and I'm surprised to find Caspian there with his hand up, poised to knock.
Oh, you are leaving already.
Hi, Caspian. Did you need something?
The elders have asked that I escort you around the village today. They fear for your safety.
Well, I don't care what the reason is. I'm just happy you're the first person I get to see today.
I feel the same.
He smiles sweetly at me. I'm still not used to that sight.
Are you ready?
Yes, let's go.
I take his arm. He looks at me for a moment, surprised, but pulls his arm and me closer. Our walk to class is blissfully uneventful. The attack on the village seems to have frightened away the crowds of vendors. That and my selection of Magnus and Sweet William must have thinned the herd out some as well. For the first time since all craziness started, Caspian and I make it to class with a few minutes to spare. All conversation stops the minute we enter the room. Rocco and Rowan raise a cheer, and even Ignatius gives us a rare smile. Lux runs to greet me with a hug. As his massive arms envelop me, I catch a glimpse of Caspian in my peripheral vision. He looks put out, to say the least.
Oh, I'm so glad you're back. I've been worried about you.
Lux's voice trails off, and his grip on me flatters. I look back at Caspian, his glaring at poor Lux with all the venom he can muster.
Thank you, Lux. We're all right. Glad to be back, too.
As Lux and I break away from each other, we take the usual seats. Caspian swiftly strides past him and sits down in Lux's chair.
Caspian? I think you're sitting in my chair.
Our seats are not assigned.
Rude?
No, they're not. It's just... I've been sitting in this chair for like 16 years.
Right? Like, let me have my chair, yo.
I have decided I will sit here today.
Rocco and Rowan watch Caspian and Lux with a sort of glee. Rocco elbows Rowan and stage whispers to him.
Well now, isn't this an interesting development?
You think they'll fight for it?
To fight for it.
What? The chair?
Of course. Taking a man's chair is the ultimate disrespect.
They're not arguing about the chair, you gorgeous idiot.
I'm not an idiot, but I am gorgeous.
Do you two ever shut up?
Give it a rest, darling. Nothing this dramatic ever happens around here.
Lux and Caspian don't seem to hear any of the comments going on behind them. Lex's usually friendly face has kind of an eerie, cold look to it. Caspian, meanwhile, is looking at Lux the way he looks at a bothersome insect. Oh, where'd the voice go? It's a little strange that you've taken such an interest in this particular seat, Caspian. Is there something I should know? I look at Lux, uncertain of how to respond. What happened between Caspian and I is no one else's business but ours, but I'm not sure if now is the time to tell everyone anyway.
Perhaps I simply wish to be closer to our instructor.
I give Lux a pleading look. Please just let it go for now. At the sight of my face, he sighs and takes Caspian's old seat without a further word. I'm definitely going to have to explain this to him later.
That was anticlimactic.
You said it.
Caspian, both of you spent some time behind enemy lines. We'd like you to tell us what you observed of the human village.
Nothing. We swam. I look at Caspian and he nods at me. We approach the table and begin rearranging the markers on the map where we can.
They held us here.
The river runs through here.
There was farmland back here.
Ooh, that was a lot. I'm gonna save here so I don't have to go through anything to get to the other end.
We must make peace.
I make eye contact with Caspian. He looks concerned.
Don't worry, Caspian. I'll be fine. They've taken good care of me so far. I'll catch up with you later, okay?
He nods to me.
When you are finished, please come to my room. We can share a pot of tea.
Tea. He says tea. He is an old man. I walk down the hall towards Caspian's door and knock. The door opens almost immediately.
I have been waiting for you.
Shocker.
Sorry it took so long. Couldn't be helped. Lots of things to test and all.
There is no need to apologize.
Caspian seems strangely nervous. A few moments pass in an awkward silence.
Did you want to invite me in? You mentioned something about tea before.
Oh, yes. Yes, forgive me. Please, come in.
See what kind of room he's got. Not shocked. His room looks large. I follow Caspian to his room. It's somehow even more sophisticated than I ever imagined. His room smells pleasantly of tea. He indicates a large, flat table in the center of the room with cushions around it.
Please, have a seat.
I take a seat and watch Caspian as he ruses himself with an ornate tea set. Busies himself. He curses swiftly as he struggles to light a small razor.
Can I help you with that, Caspian? I could light that for you in a second.
No.
Well,
sorry. I didn't mean to offend.
No, I apologize. I did not mean to sound so angry, but I simply must do it myself.
Oh, well, that's all right. I'll just let you handle it then.
Is it my imagination or is Caspian sweating? I've never seen him struggle to do anything before, but every step in the process is a battle for him. He spills dry tea leaves on the table, overfills the kettle, and knocks the pot over.
Are you all right, Caspian? You seem kind of off your game today.
I am fine. I am capable of making a simple cup of tea.
He grabs the wrong end of the kettle and jumps back, sucking at his burnt finger. I definitely never seen him do anything like that.
If you say so.
I guess he doesn't want to talk about it. Caspian brings 2 cups and saucers to the table with shaking hands. The cups rattle against the plates.
Thank you for waiting. The tea should be ready now.
Maybe.
It smells lovely, Caspian. Thank you.
Caspian kneels beside me and pours the tea, but misses the cup entirely. Boiling hot liquid comes spilling out all over the table, narrowly missing my hand.
Curse this tea set!
I don't think it's the tea set's problem. He sets the kettle down onto the table and jumps up to grab a towel. I follow him and grab one for myself. We clean the spilled tea in silence together. Caspian speaks eventually, but he does not look at me.
You are my guest. You should not be cleaning, but thank you.
I'm not your guest, Caspian. We're beyond that, aren't we?
Our hands brush each other. It's enough to stop Caspian in his tracks and probably looks me in the eye. Wah, wah, wah. I don't know which of us moved first, but it doesn't matter. His lips crash into mine, and the tea is all but forgotten. His kisses leave me breathless. Caspian suddenly pulls away.
I invited you here for tea.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah.
Finish what you started.
Another word. Caspian flings the towel to the side and sweeps his arm across the table, sending the tea kettle and cup smashing into the wall across the room. Well then, bye tea.
Oh!
Caspian pushes me down onto the table and leans in close, growling into my ear.
I will get new ones.
Okay. I'll get new ones. Oh, dear me. His gaze sends a shiver through my body. He looks down at me as though he might devour me whole. I reach up and pull at the ribbon holding his bun in place. His hair comes cascading down his shoulders. I wonder for a moment if he'll be angry with me, but he laughs.
You like my hair down?
He leans down and whispers into
Let
my
us
ear.
see what else you like.
Well then. Caspian kisses me with a renewed vigor, and I am drowned in pleasurable sensations. The press of his lips and sweep of his hair, that brush of his beard, every point of contact between our bodies make me mad for him. He takes me over and over again with there on the table until we're both exhausted. Well then.
I can't believe this table withstood all of that.
The craftsmen in my village are truly exceptional.
A knock at the door interrupts our conversation. I hear Lux's muffled voice through the door.
Caspian? Are you alright in there?
Oh, shit. Teapot looks good. Still whole. To my complete and utter horror, Caspian rises and makes his way to the door, stark naked.
Caspian! Don't you dare!
I will explain things to him.
Oh, no. I look around in panic for my clothes, but they're scattered all around the room. I spot Caspian's overcoat and manage to throw it on just as he opens the door, revealing a concerned Lux.
Hey, Oh, wow, okay. You're naked.
I am.
I just wanted to come check on you. I heard a loud crash earlier and some yelling.
Your concern is unwarranted. As you can see, we are fine.
Oh, why does he have to do that to him?
We?
Oh, no. Caspian points to me and just behind the table.
Caspian! Hi, Lux.
His eyes fall on me. Realization suddenly dawns on Lux. He immediately averts his gaze.
Oh, I am so sorry. I'll just,
I accept your apology.
Caspian closes the door without waiting for Lux's response.
Caspian, what were you thinking?
I simply wished to reassure him.
Oh.
No, you didn't. You were making a point.
If he realizes that you are mine after this, so much the better.
I'm not an object, Caspian. You don't own me. I don't belong to anyone.
I apologize. This situation is still new for me.
That's all right. We're both learning. And please, be nice to Lux. He's my best friend. He's not a threat to you.
I will try to remember that.
After my date, I know I'm going to sleep well tonight. As my head hits the pillow, I silently beg the goddess for dreams of my beloved. He's Precious cinnamon roll. I'm in a familiar meadow. The artifact around my neck glows, and the field bursts into bloom once again. The necklace emits an extra burst. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can skip that. I should say Caspian. I never turned down an opportunity to spend more time together. Knock, knock. I knock quietly on Caspian's door so as not to disturb the rest of our classmates. No answer. I cautiously open the door and peek inside. I can hear Caspian heavy and even breathing as I open the door. Oops, he's still asleep. I guess it's a bit earlier than I realized. He almost unrecognizable like that. His face is so relaxed and his hair is down. I hope he won't be too mad when I wake him up. I make my way to Caspian's side as quietly as I can. I lean down to plant a kiss on his lips, but before I can even get close, his eyes fly open. We stare at each other for a moment. I'm frozen in place, bent at the waist with half-puckered lips.
Hello.
What are you doing?
I was going to give you a kiss. I thought...
Caspian reaches up and pulls me down onto his bed, wrapping his arms around me and giving me a rather heated kiss.
There is no need to sneak up on me while I am sleeping for that. You have only to ask.
It takes me a moment to get my bearings. This warm-loving version of Caspian is going to take some getting used to, but I can't say I mind.
I just wanted to wake you nicely. I need to go pick out my jewelry for the ceremony, and I thought you might want to come with me.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Or we could just spend the morning here.
I really would love to, but I really have to get this done.
Shame. Perhaps another morning, then.
He releases me and rises from the bed, crossing the room to a chest of drawers. He begins to disrobe. Even though since I've already seen him naked, I can't help but blush.
Thank you for waiting.
No problem at all.
The atmosphere in the village is quite tense this morning. It seems as if the upcoming meeting with the humans has a chilling effect on the usual morning hustle and bustle, but I did notice a few smiles as we walked through the square, so hopefully things will return around. Zircon's designs left an impression on me, even amongst the massive pile of advertisements. I'm excited to see what he has for me today. As we enter the shop, Zircon, the owner, is carefully examining a gem through his lens. He is so engrossed in his work, he doesn't even notice we've entered. Caspian and I wait patiently for a moment, but Zircon only seems to have eyes for the gem.
We've come to take a look at your wares. You there. I am speaking to you.
Caspian, patience wear thin. He strides across the room, and Zircon puts a firm hand on his shoulder. Zircon starts to toss the gem he's been examining straight into the air. Caspian catches it and hands it back to him, albeit somewhat roughly.
Just who do you think you are, prowling around my shop and manhandling a delicate artisan like myself? You great bullying brute!
Enough. We do not have time for your games. If you do not wish to dress the only female in this village, there are many others who will gladly take your place.
What does that have to do with...
He stops mid-sentence as his eyes fall upon me standing by the door.
Oh!
Oh! He seems much sheerer all of a sudden. He fidgets awkwardly with the necklace he's wearing as Caspian and I exchange a look. Maybe better to let Caspian do the talking.
We are here to browse your wares. She needs the traditional ceremonial set. Armbands, a necklace, bracelets.
The mention of jewelry, Zircon seems to snap out of his shyness.
Oh, my goodness, look at me. I haven't even offered you anything to drink. Please, follow me to the showroom.
He pulls a curtain to the side and bows low, gesturing with his arm for us to go into the next room. The room is filled with absolute stunning pieces. Zircon really is a master of his craft. Some of these must have taken months to make. I can't believe I get to wear some of this stuff. Zircon scurries around and straightens pieces on his display and muttering to himself about the state of things.
I believe you offered us drinks.
Oh!
Oh! Zircon ducks behind the counter, emerges with some delicate glass vessels and a bottle of something colorful.
This is a special batch from one of our visiting merchants. The strawberries in Rose Glen Village are renowned. It's sparkling strawberry orange cocktail.
I take a polite sip, but I'm kind of surprised to find I enjoy the drink. The bubbles tickle my tongue, and the strawberry and orange flavor complement each other well.
I'll be just a moment. I set aside some pieces for you earlier this week.
Caspian looks disdainfully at the drink before him. He takes a small sniff and wrinkles his nose, setting it back down.
Try it, Caspian. It's really good.
It smells like it's nothing but sugar.
You don't like sweet things?
Not generally, no.
Not even me?
You are an exception.
Aw, Caspian. You old softy.
Zircon returns with a massive wooden chest in his
Just
hand.
set those glasses on the table over there, my dear, if you'll just come this way.
Zircon opens the chest and pulls out the shiny gold set of bracelets, armbands, and necklaces.
Oh my, they're exquisite.
Thank you. Would you like to try them on?
Oh, could I? Thank you so much.
As Zircon and I chat about ceremonial jewelry, Caspian dressed around the room. I lay poking at a few pieces here and there. After a while, he stops in front of a display of matching wedding jewelry, the traditional headpiece for a female and necklace for a male. Zircon notices me looking past him, and he turns to see what's holding my attention before he suddenly bursts into tears and dashes across the room and throws his arm around Caspian, sobbing joyously.
Oh, my dears. How wonderful! Your union will secure the future of this village. No, the entire race!
You assume too much.
And to think you chose my humble designs for your wedding.
We couldn't picture our wedding any other way.
I give Caspian a cheeky wink. He smiles at me.
My bride shall have whatever her heart desires.
Now, don't be shy, my children, please.
He waves me over to them eagerly, dabbing at his eyes with his apron in between. He takes the necklace off the mannequin and fits it around Caspian's neck, then helps me put on the headpiece. He ushers us over to a nearby
See
mirror.
how fine you look.
Caspian and I lock eyes in the mirror, and I give him a wink. He gives me an affectionate smile. I wonder what's got him blushing like that.
Oh, but I've gotten ahead of myself. We must focus on the task at hand. Focus, Zircon, focus!
We hear a loud smack of flesh striking flesh. It sounds like Zircon actually slapped himself in the face.
Did you have any questions about the jewelry, my dear? Anything you wanted changed?
Oh no, what you've done is wonderful. It should go perfectly with my dress.
In that case, I must get to work immediately.
But aren't they done already?
Now that I've seen them on your form, I have a few adjustments to make to ensure they'll fit you perfectly. And of course I must polish them and imbue them with some certain magical auras. Trade secrets, you know.
Thank you so much for your generosity, Zircon. It'll be an honor to wear your pieces.
Thank you, my dear. There is no greater feeling for a craftsman than to see his pieces worn by someone who truly appreciates them.
Just a moment, craftsman. I will join you outside. Please give us a moment.
All right then. See you soon.
We will overcome, just as we always have. Do not despair.
Puts his arm around my waist for a moment, giving me a sort of reassuring squeeze. His touch helps me relieve my anxiety, even just for a moment.
Caspian, what are you doing here?
I wanted to make sure you were all right. Your sudden exit was concerning. Are you injured?
I'm okay. I just tripped and needed to take a second to gather myself.
Have you finished gathering yourself then?
Yeah.
Caspian leans down and offers his hand to me.
Thanks, Caspian.
Take his hand and pull myself up.
If you are feeling well, then let us be off.
We set off for the goddess statue again.
Incidentally, where are we headed?
The goddess. It might sound crazy, but I had a weird vision about her, and I feel like she might be the key to something.
The words falter as they come out of my mouth. What do I know? This isn't some magic-induced hallucination. Why am I doing this now? But no matter how ridiculous it sounds, something drives me forward.
I do not know what you feel this will accomplish, but I will accompany you wherever you go.
Caspian, if you could just wait a few paces back.
If you insist.
He stands back and watches me intently. I'm going to have to try to recreate some of my vision if I want to try to understand it, which means I take a hesitant step into the water. It's freezing cold and the bottom of the pool is covered with some sort of unpleasant, slippery substance. I grit my teeth. Come on. This is important. Don't be a baby. Images from my previous vision flash through my mind. Close my eyes and focus my energy on the amulet around my neck, and to my great relief, I can feel the water beginning to warm around me as the jewel begins to glow and radiate heat, just as I saw in my vision. The light from my amulet begins to pulse in time with the light radiating from the eyes of the goddess.
What kind of magic?
The pool has now grown pleasantly warm, and the water is beginning to churn around me. Myriad colors emanate from the pool, and the goddess's eyes circulating in one massive rainbow-colored shockwave that bursts out from my necklace. There is a long silence. I cautiously open my eyes, then the other. Open one eye, then the other. Goddess appears as she has been the day she was carved. She's no longer covered in moss and plant matter. Her jeweled eyes glitter in the sunlight, and the pool itself seems to have been magically purified in the same way. I can see straight through the bottom, and the floor of the pool is no longer slippery and unpleasant. Caspian is frozen in place. He looks like he's about to make his way to the pool before a great rainbow explosion. All he can do is stare. I've never seen him look so surprised.
What have you done?
I'm not sure.
I wade out of the pool as we walk back towards the village together in a bewildered silence. Caspian gives me a nod and I leave with the apprentice. Caspian is looking at me with a mix of pride and admiration. I take a step towards him, but before I know it, Lux lifts me into the air onto his shoulders, and the rest of my classmates gather around. Rowan and Rocco are hugging Ignatius and laughing.
Okay, guys, that'll do.
Everything's going to change.
We're going to be all right. I said that'll do.
Rowan and Rocco grab Ignatius and lift him into the air. He struggles, but they easily overpower him.
Put me down! I didn't even do anything!
It's a celebration, Iggy.
Don't be a killjoy.
Caspian and I lock eyes across the room and share an intimate smile. Maybe we'll have a chance for a real future now. As you watch the humans march back into the woods, waiting until the sound of their clumsy footsteps disappear out of earshot, someone cheers and suddenly we're all cheering and hugging and laughing again. Rowan's face. Shock. That's cute. Poor Ignatius. This time, Caspian takes me in his arm and embraces me tenderly. Unfortunately, it does not escape the notice of our group.
What?
Well, that's... Huh.
Oh, I guess it's true that girls like mysterious guys after all.
Congratulations, my friends. I couldn't be happier for you.
Perhaps there will be a wedding along with our coming-of-age ceremony celebration.
We shall see.
I wake in the morning feeling refreshed and renewed. La la la. An old bridal palanquin sits just outside. Rowan and Lux are standing on either side. They give me a smile and a wave.
What's this for? What are you two doing here?
Sweet William asked us to help transport you to the shrine.
So here we are. There's no way I'd miss being a part of your big day.
You look absolutely stunning.
Caspian's gonna go nuts when he sees you. He might actually smile. I know I would.
The boys deposit me near the side door and Lux helps me climb out.
Lux, I'm nervous. I've been like this my entire life. Everything's going to change in a few moments.
Lux puts his hand on my shoulder and gives me a comforting smile.
You'll still be the same wonderful person you've always been. So what if you look a little different? You'll be just as intelligent and capable and beautiful as you are now. Since you'll be settling into one element, you'll get to really dive into your magic. You'll find power you never knew you had. This is a wonderful thing.
Oh, Lux, where would I be without you? You're the best.
Lux envelops me in his muscled arms and I hug him tightly. He kisses the top of my head.
Don't worry about what's to come. You have amazing things ahead of you. And if Caspian doesn't treat you right, I'll break every bone in his body. Well, they'll be expecting you inside, and Rowan and I need to take our seats. Shall we?
Lux has kind of a scary side, doesn't he?
A little bit.
When we enter Cimmerian Hall, I see a row after row of elemental spectators. Hundreds of pairs of eyes are all on me. I've never even seen this many people in one room before. No, stop thinking about that. Let's focus on something else, shall we? Where's Caspian? As I near the front of the room, I see Caspian seated amongst my classmates. His handsome face is a relief to my panicked eyes. He radiates strength and confidence. Rocco elbows him in his ribs and points in my direction. As soon as our eyes meet, Caspian gives me a smile just about takes my breath away. I smile at him and make my way to the altar in front of the room. Elderlin gives me a proud smile as I approach. Hyacinth takes her place by his side. That looks really pretty. As the hall erupts and cheers of hundreds of elementals, Caspian looks at me as if he and I are the only ones in the room. My stomach is doing flips again, but this time it's because of him. Boop. Trophy earned, slippery when wet. The party began the moment we left the shrine and shows no signs of stopping anytime soon. Rocco has convinced Ignatius to draw an elaborate henna design on his chest, but he's too drunk to notice that Ignatius is drawing a complicated array of what appeared to be male genitalia. Yes! Ignatius, constant giggling, threatens to give him away, but Rocco is too far gone to care. Oh, that is amazing. Rowan plies Lux with drinks. hoping to convince him to fight, but Lux's stamina is too great for Rowan to keep up. Before long, Rowan is lying under the table, groaning, surrounded by empty bottles of strawberry wine. Lux sips delicately from a bottle, by all appearance almost entirely sober. Caspian takes my hand and leads me outside. The cool air is a refreshing change from the crowded hall.
Alone at last.
Oh my.
It's not what you think. Well, not entirely anyway.
He kisses me but stops himself before too long.
No. I had something to discuss with you.
Aw, you're telling me we left the party and we're not even gonna make out?
There will be time for that. Patience.
Well, go on then.
Do not rush me.
He clears his throat and then fidgets with his dress coat.
Have I told you how truly lovely you are?
You've been saying it all night. But I can't say I mind hearing it. Thank you, Caspian.
Ah, right.
He looks away from me. Even in the moonlight, I can see that he's blushing.
Intimacy like this is difficult for me. It may not surprise you to know I do not have many friends.
You have us, Caspian. All those guys in there love you, whether you know it or not.
Thank you. Perhaps it will also not surprise you to learn that my family is not particularly affectionate. So our situation has been a bit of an adjustment for me.
I never would have guessed. You've really taken so well to the whole relationship thing.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. There's something else. I just wanted to tell you that I love you.
Oh, Caspian, I love you too.
He takes my hand in his, and realization draws on me as he leans in to rest his forehead against mine. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Is he...
I never dreamed I could find this kind of happiness with another. Even within my own family, my mother and father never married for love. Their relationship was one of duty. But with you, it could be different. My love, will you marry me?
Yes! Yes, Caspian!
Please, say it again.
Yes! I'll marry you, Caspian!
He laughs and pulls me closer, kissing me sweetly.
Oh, I can't forget.
He reaches into a sash at the waist and produces a small flat box. He opens it, revealing a headpiece and necklace retried at Zarkon's earlier.
Oh, it's the one we tried on before! It's so beautiful.
May I?
Yes, please.
I bow my head and he places the jewel headpiece onto my hair.
It suits you, just as I thought.
Don't forget yours, Caspian.
Ah, yes.
He leans forward and allows me to lower the necklace over his head.
I'm so happy, Caspian. I can't wait to start the rest of our lives together.
My love, I will cherish you as long as I live.
They're so cute. Fiend. Okay. So, we load. Oh. I'll answer your question in a moment.
My love, will you marry me?
Oh, Caspian, I love you so much. But I don't think we need to be married to be committed to each other. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, Caspian. I don't need any jewelry or a ceremony to prove it to you.
I did like his outfit too.
It is unorthodox. But if you'll stay by my side, then I will love you for all of my days.
I'll never leave you.
I prefer the white and gold on him more. Load game. And now we go destroy the humans. Shortly after our meeting, the elders gave the order to have the humans killed and their village destroyed. Human, children, and elderly, they slaughtered them all. The air was thick with the stench of blood. And the screams of the dying, tapping into the power of the amulet. That day changed me, and when I gave myself over to it fully was when my life truly began. I never had my coming of age ceremony, but it did not matter. The power of the amulet allowed me mastery over all elements. In the face of such naked raw power, my people began looking to me for guidance more and more. Eventually, I installed myself as queen, the first ruler of its kind in our people's history. My subjects are both terrified of me and hopelessly in love with me. Under my rule, we conduct periodic raids of human villages throughout the land, repopulating our people as our needs demand. As for Caspian and I, we had 4 daughters, each more cruel and more beautiful than the last. Yep, definitely another Princess Leia type look from him. Yep. I like her dress as that, though. I really do like her dress. The end. So I think I'm actually like missing a few trophies. Like, hold on. Let's open up the trophy thing. It says I'm 93%. Unlock all CGs and all endings. Okay, well that's just the other CGs of the dress that she needs to be. Share a bad pun with Rowan at an opportunist moment. I don't know how to get that. Hidden trophy. And yeah, so there's one hidden trophy. Share a pun with Rowan, which I'm not sure what that is in his route. And then get all CGs and all endings. So guess the only CGs I'm actually missing are her other dress, 2 other dress options with Caspian. Right. Yes. Oh, there's this one. What's that one? I'm gonna have to look that up. Hello, internet. Akash. All CG. That's definitely not correct. So Akash. Yeah. Oops. Of the 5 all CG images. I don't know what that CG is or where to find it. I don't know. I don't know what that one is. Or maybe it's what... Yes, the developer sent me something on Twitter. So let's do, okay, let's do Akash Path of the 5 Rowan pun. Because I know, at least with that, that is... That's just a list of the trophies, that's not what I want. When did I do the pun? You know, let's put it in Rowan walk through. Nothing will tell me. This is annoying. Maybe it comes from getting all other trophies? Sometimes stuff like that unlocks. But I don't know how to do the pun thing. I don't want to, like, redo his entire route just to find that one. I'll have to ask. I'll tweet. I am stuck. Oh, jeez, phone. With 2 trophies. What's it? Okay, with 1 trophy. Sharing a bad pun with Rowan. And I am missing 1 CG from the I didn't really like Daniel's route. It felt very out of place for the main character, her like choosing him and like leaving all of her people behind. That just felt weird to me. From the Miss So, in the meantime, it's like they were alive, but everyone else died. Essentially, that's what it felt like to me. So, extras, chapter select, ceremony, Caspian, timeless, confirm. I don't know. I have several games that I need to finish. That's kind of sucks to stream because then it's like in the middle of towards or there's one I'm towards the end. It's in Kingdom Hearts Final Remix 2.8 Dream Drop Distance. I feel like I'm almost done with that. I need to finish that, and then I have another game, another side game, and a movie that they have for the story. Once I finish that, I may do Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, why not? I like the gold. That one's just too it's pretty. It's just very covering, so you can't see like much of like her change and stuff. I've been wanting to replay Gravity Rush games, which is amazing. I have a DLC to play in that still. I have the Okami game. I haven't played that. sees me at all. I need to finish Persona 5. But I keep dying, so I got frustrated, so I just stopped playing. Out of PS4 games, that's about it. I have a lot more Vita games, but I don't know how to stream. I know. I have a lot of Vita games I need to play, but I don't know. I can go back to the menu. Yes. That should have saved. Typical visual novel. Like atypical visual novel. Like the only other visual novel you can play on PS3. Oh, the name is called... Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a typical visual novel. I'm like, you can play Code Realize. I already played it on the Vita. I don't... Well, I have a PS4 version, but it's the Japanese version of it. I don't have the English version of it on PS4. I actually just received the musical Code Realize in the mail yesterday. I'm excited to watch that. Extras. Chapter select. Like, the person who you saw that was streaming it didn't finish it, or they didn't finish the game. Oh, okay. I attempted to play a Steam. I tried. What did I play for a little bit? I played. This probably is. I've never seen it in the PlayStation Store. I mean, who knows? It might be on the Switch. I actually looked up Switch games that are only in Japan and not in the US that have English in it, and there's actually a lot of them that do. I have a Wii too. Well, it's not mine, it's my sister's. That's not in English. It is, but it doesn't have an English. I actually have the, pretty sure that's the one I have a really, 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 really nice art book of. I know it's Tokyo Boys. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't mind playing it because if they've translated it, but I don't like the idea of streaming something that's not official. So I have all of hers. No. Should. Yes. That one actually looks really good on her like that. So I'm literally missing one CG. I don't... Who are you? And one trophy. Nor 9, and Nor 9 has 3 girls. 2 girls? 3 girls? Maybe 3 girls? I don't remember. But each girl has a set of boys where you can do their route. Has anyone tweeted me back? No, not yet. Boo. I'll retweet it on the podcast Twitter too. Me and another YouTuber, Anime Palooza, we're going to be talking about this game in a podcast soon. Oops, wanted mine. I wish I knew how to get the other one. I really want to know what that is. Oh, I do have... That would be cute as a second season. I have... Let me see. I forgot about digital games. Digital games. I have Unravel 2, and the first one was really, really good. Oh, there's Air, Memories of Old. Oh, there was another one I downloaded with that. I thought I have Limbo, but I might wait for that to play that at a later date. Never Alone. I started playing it. That one was really good so far. Little Big Planet 3. I've only played very little of that. Yeah, I don't really have many digital games that I haven't played already. I don't know if I want to say now or wait for the podcast, because we're going to have like a huge podcast really like dissecting this game and everything. Unravel is such a... It's a good game. It's a good game. The Unravel is made by a studio that is actually a Swedish studio, so there was a lot of things that I kind of picked up from it, and I felt, yeah, that was a very Swedish thing to do, or Sweden type thing to do. Here's a few things I was confused about and had to ask my husband. I was like, because he's Swedish. I was like, I don't, what does this mean? It's like past events. But yeah. I'll tell you who my favorite was. Ignatius is my favorite. Ignatius definitely was my favorite character out of all of them. But I may wait for the podcast to really give my full thoughts on everything, because I think that would be a good time to do that. As for next game I'll stream, I don't know. I may finish some games I'm almost done with, so those don't just go unfinished. Am I missing anything over there that I didn't list off that I could play? I know I've pre-ordered a game, but that doesn't come out until October. I really want to play that. I will definitely be streaming that game. Definitely. It looks so good. Yeah, maybe. I don't No, that one. Remains of Edith Finch. Oh, wait, I think I have that. I just never downloaded it. I think that was a free game 1 month on PlayStation. I think I have that game, but I just never played it. That sounds super familiar. I have Overcooked as well. Uh-oh. Well, I guess now I really have to end the stream because my controller has completely died, so I have to go charge it. So hopefully it has enough power so I can end the stream. But yeah, but thanks for coming. I will probably say something on Twitter of what I'll stream next and when I'll stream next. It might be a while, so I can catch up on some games that I need to finish playing and get those done and put them in the past and move on. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Oops.